Today we're going to do some lamb chop lollipops, or some Cajun lamb chops. Here's my lamb chops. Got those from the grocery store. I'll show you how to cut those and make those into portions. And then we're going to eat them right off the bone. They're delicious as an appetizer, just served warm, or they're great served sizzling hot off the grill with another ingredient like sweet potato or some of that blanched asparagus that we did on the last time. I make my own rub. I keep it in a big container like this, so it's always handy. It can be used on a number of different things. It's great on fish. It's got a lot of sweet and a lot of heat to it. So actually more heat than sweet. But here's the ingredients I use to make my own rub. You can buy these in the store. If you go to the grocery store and look in the herb section or the seasoning section, you can find different ones you like. But I kind of like to make my own because I want to kind of create my own flavors. In here, I've got, this is sage, this is celery salt, this is red pepper, that's a lot of heat there. This is chili powder, this is cumin, this is granulated onion and granulated garlic. I've got about a 3-to-1 ratio of salt and pepper. I've got a little salt I'm going to put in here, but I also use the celery salt for my salt. You want to be careful because too much salt is not a good thing. And this is baker's sugar. If you look at that, you can tell it's much more finely granulated than the regular sugar that you use in your coffee and tea. You could use brown sugar as well, but I see that sometimes clumping up and it doesn't stay kind of dry like this one does. So I use the baker's sugar for this, although I absolutely love brown sugar in a number of things. Just very quickly, I like to keep these cold. As a matter of fact, you'll probably get them in the freezer. I usually keep them almost semi-frozen before I cut them because it makes it easier. It's a very soft meat. People sometimes shy away from lamb chops for even the silliest reasons, like I just can't get it out of the package. So just to kind of show you real quick, the easiest way to open these up is cut along all 4 sides on the outside. Be careful not to cut into the meat. And then that'll create an opening here and cut with your shears right across all the way. And then you'll see it kind of unfolds really easy. Throw those back in. I'm going to have at those later on. So let's cut these little things up. Okay, I've already washed my hands and washed these off. When you get them out of the package, to give them a little rinse. And the idea is if you ordered these from a butcher, they could do a good job giving you nice big, 3/4 inch consistent pieces. But that's not how this is going to cut off the rack. It's going to be a little bit different. And that's okay, because you can use the thicker pieces for the rare to medium rare and the thinner ones for those who prefer their meat a little bit more well done. I'm going to start, it doesn't really matter which way I start. I'm going to feel the bone. There's going to be a little knuckle in there. So what I'm going to do is come right along the bone, put this kind of upright. Actually, I think I'll start this side. Come right along the bone and find the knuckle. And cut right through it. I want to be sensitive to kind of keep a nice, even piece. Cut that fat. When we cook these, we're going to throw the last piece, or last time we cook them, we're going to throw that on the grill and cook that fat nice. We'll just throw those there. Kind of feel where the knuckle is. Look to make sure I'm nice and straight and even. Watch your finger. Cut down with a nice sharp knife and separate these off. Again. Find the knuckle, look nice and straight. You need to hold the meat a little bit right there. These are actually a little bit more thought out than I like to usually work with them, but that's okay. I'm going to cut these down. Nice straight piece of meat. Sometimes what happens if you're trying to do it the wrong way, you'll get a meat piece like that, and you don't want it to be thick here and thin here, so that's the key. You can even see there's an angle of these like that. If I cut with the angle, it would be uneven, so I'm cutting back across to kind of counter that off. Find the knuckle. Nice big piece. And because I'm the cook, and I like it rare, this is going to be mine right there. I'm going to like a nice big thick rare piece of this. So you can see all these are kind of nice and even. This is going to be the smallest of the bunch. That's a little thicker right there, and this one's a little thicker, so we know who's getting what. So now what we're going to do is just really liberally season these. I like them all over. I'm going to kind of push them on there and handle them with my hands. Get it all over the place, all sides. Kind of press it on there a little bit. You can shake it across the whole thing. This is, just get messy with it. Just don't be afraid to get all that seasoning and flavor on there. We're going to use all this seasoning later on. When I get out the grill, I'm going to just scrape it off the plate onto there. But I want these things to be loaded. Make sure you get the back side. I've got to tell you, when you get these cooked, That fat is all the flavor and it's just delicious. So now we've got these here, nicely covered. Double check again, make sure all sides got what you want. Again, people always ask me, how do you get that to taste so good? It's just, don't be afraid of flavor. You know, some people are saying don't season your meat beforehand. Well, whoever they are, haven't tasted these. You can see I kind of got them all nice and flavored, seasoned all the way across, front, back, top, bottom. And they are literally, if I can use an old phrase from a company, they are going to be finger licking good. These are about ready just to go out to that grill. Okay. All right, I'm going to clean my hands off. I've got this thing cleaned off and lightly seasoned. I like to use a little sesame oil, even though it does have that nutty flavor. Sesame oil is great for high heat cooking. So we've got our lamb chops out here. We're going to put them on the grill. And it doesn't really matter which side you start with. It is good to notice if you have a grill, sometimes it just turns out that one side's a little hotter than another. I always lay these out in order so they fit together. Put the smaller ones behind the bigger ones. Down in the fold there. While we were away, I took some time to do some other ones. These are going to cook pretty quick, about 3 or 4 minutes, and we're going to make sure we sear them nice on each side, sear the meat inside, or sear the meat juices inside. If you want to get some more of your flavor on there, you can kind of rub them around in that. That's a good one. Here's a little taster, that's mine. I'll scrape that seasoning off on there. I brought my seasoning out. I want to make sure I got them nice and seasoned up like I said before. If you notice, these have that little ridge of fat in here. That's just delicious stuff. We're going to actually eat all the way around that. Just shake them up a little bit. I'm going to close the lid. We're going to flip them one time and then go on the back side, okay? Let's let those sit for about 2 or 3 minutes. All right, let's check these out a little bit. You got to be careful because lamb chops will flame up. As you can tell, I'm getting a nice little char. Check that out. That's what I want. I could cheat and use some more seasoning again, just kind of let that juice soak it up. As I turn these over, that's what I'm looking for. That char, check it out. These are starting to flame a little bit. Go fast, turn them over. Just get them over. If I shut that lid, that's a lot. That's yummy. Put that down there. Get them off the flame side. Lamb chops got a lot of fat going on, so they are going to have that juice cause them to flame up a little bit. That's okay, I'm touching it. That black is going to taste so good. Okay, let's get them a little char on this side, and we'll come back after them in a minute. Now remember, I should say this, some of these pieces are thinner. They're already cooking pretty good, so they're almost done. We've only been at this about 2.5, 3 minutes, so these are going to get a little char on the other side. I'm going to go to the back side. They're going to be done, and we'll be out of here in less than 5, all right? All right, I've got these just about where I want them, because I want some of mine to be rare, like I said before. My wife likes hers a little more medium. Now here we're going to do this tricky part. We've got to create a little stack. I'm going to put them all on their back side, because I want this ridge of fat to cook up on me. I don't even care if it gets a little flame on it. I kind of like that, actually. I'm going to cook that fat off a little bit. Get them all on their backside a little bit. This is where you can kind of decide what temperature you want to finish them off at. I think I'll bring it back. I'm gonna do it against this side instead. I just like it better. I'm getting a little too much heat on that side. Get those back so I can shut the lid. Flaming up on me, let me shut that down. All right, I've trimmed my heat down a little bit. These have been flaming a little bit, but you can tell I got that back where I wanted it. Check these puppies out. Lamb chop lollipops. You can see how juicy they are. Watch the flame. That's all that fat that's been cooking off. Got my pieces that are a little more rare. That's the ones I want. That's my favorite one right there. That's the one I'm going to go after. And here's my little taste bite. That's the reward for the chef. There we go, lamb chop lollipops. You can serve those straight on like that, again, with a great roasted baked sweet potato, regular potatoes, some asparagus. We're talking about some fine eating. Let's turn our grill off, get inside, and see how they turned out.